talking to the head man of the EC Glass Hilltoppers, Mr. Alan Jones. Hilltoppers have a big one on Tuesday with the Amherst County Lancers. Winner goes to the state tournament. Talk about the win over Halifax and how it went for you guys.
Sure. We didn't have much other than statistics on Halifax, so made some calls around to try to get some scouting reports. And I think the funniest thing that we got back was someone said basically they have two arms and struggle to produce against decent pitching. And I said, well, we're basically playing ourselves. So it was a pretty good matchup. Seeing what they had, I did think they were going to start the other kid. And I think the funny thing is the other coach said the same thing about us. We thought the Hatcher kid would start, and they thought Mikey would start, and we flopped them on both ends. So Comer came out, had good velo early, and what hurt him there at the end is there was a couple wild pitches that got to him, and we were able to get a second run across on that. And for us, Cooper just dealt the whole time. I mean, I think he had one walk and threw a ton of strikes and had 9 strikeouts and got 6 innings out of him and kept him at a good pitch count. So we're very, very pleased.
If I had told you at this point in the season you would have a 2-headed monster, what would you have told me?
Honestly, I don't think I would have been super surprised. I would have been surprised at what Cooper has been able to do. He has proven himself in a way that bars no one. The best hitter that we knew Halifax had was their third baseman, Gunn, I believe, and their coach took a mound visit, and the kid came over to me and he said, Coach, I just want you to know I've struck out 3 times all year, and your guy has had me 3 times, and I can't figure him out at all. So it was very complimentary and respectful, but that's just how Cooper has done it this year. He's baffling hitters at all levels.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. With all due respect to Cooper and Harpster, I could have said maybe Glass will have a 2-headed monster, but I almost thought the heads would be reversed.
Correct.
Because it almost seems like Cooper is that initial head, and then you've got Harpster coming in to kind of deliver the knockout. Right. With that being said, I mean, has Harpster struggled?
No, not at all. No, I would, I'll still tell people I think his stuff this year is better than it was last year. The slider is still there. He's been working on a cutter. He still has a changeup that he doesn't throw that much because of command on it. And his fastball has just been off a little bit this year. Like his walks were up. The ERA was up a little bit, I think, because of that. And he just hasn't been quite as sharp. And, it might be one of those situations you run into it often with this age kid where he got a really good deal. And when you commit early and you sign early, you kind of feel validated. And when you sit back and you feel that validation, there's times when you're like, hey, I'm okay. And instead of feeling like, hey, I want to strive more. And it's hard. It's not like I'm trying to bash Mike because he's a fantastic kid, but it's just very natural to be like, hey, I'm okay.
Right.
And to find those, okay, you've reached a goal, you've accomplished a goal. How do we keep you motivated? What's your next goal? Like what about, now that we're where we are, I'm really pushing for, hey, let's make you regional player of the year. Like, let's make you state level, competitive to say, hey, obviously once you get to summer, there's not a lot of summer opportunity for seniors who graduate. So he might have a light summer. So like, hey, let's start ramping you back up and get as much as we can now. And I do think that that's going to be a great possibility for us.
And you and I have known each other a long time, and I'm always looking for the, positives. And, I'm not trying to insult anybody with the question, but I feel bad almost because it almost does sound like I'm knocking Harpster. And Harpster, man, everybody in the district would love to have him. Love to have him.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. No, not at all. And he is like, he's what he's done overall. He's hit so well for our team. He's been one of our most productive hitters, plays solid defense. It was a slightly off year on the mound. And I think everyone expected perfection because it was like last year, it was nearly perfection when he pitched.
I would love to have his off year.
Literally we had a perfect game from him last year.
Right. And I think you hit the nail on the head too, because I don't think enough people not trying to knock anybody else, but what he does with the bat is so good too. And a lot of pitchers are really good with the arm, but maybe not equal with the bat. And I think Harpster is definitely equal, and I hate to say maybe better with the stick.
Right.
I mean, he's really good with the bat. So
really good.
Would you prefer, and I know you're still happy that you're playing, but you've got a berth to the state final or to the state tournament on the line, but you're playing a team that you know. Would you rather play the team that you know, or would you rather do the call around? And, I think one of the big things is glass needs to worry about glass, but when you're playing a team that you know, it's almost like that doesn't happen in a way.
Correct. Yeah, no, I'm definitely more comfortable playing Amherst. Like seeing the way that the brackets lined up, like I don't know anything about Louisa. Like we knew a bit about Western because we scrimmaged them last year and we played them in first round and beat them last year. So we had some experience with Western. Louisa is that anomaly. We don't know. We know very little. And obviously I'll be calling Coach G to see like, hey, what can you help me with if we have to run into them after Amherst. So it's good, but that steps ahead of I'm happy to face, like we know what we're going to get with Amherst. So preparation becomes, pretty focused, but also it's not heightened because it's like, hey, we've seen, like Nick Dawson has handled this twice and he's good. We know what he's going to attack us with and Dalton's going to come in and throw gas. And we know what to expect.
I've seen you guys play, and with all due respect, the sticks are not what stands out about you guys at times. Sure. Is that where you? No,
I mean, I feel like even last night, like we were productive throughout. Like things were spread out to be able to get those 2 runs. We left less runners on than we have over the past handful of games. That was one of the comments from one of the players in our talk afterwards. They're like, "Hey, how many runners did we leave on base?" And Coach Harps, who runs the game changer, is like, it's only 8. The team cheered, it's like, yay. Right. So that's a positive. I'm not happy with our execution on bunts, and that's what, I'm a big fan of small ball. But as much as we practice it, it's a difficult thing to master for sure. But it's just one of those things that can help us because we're not a home run hitting team. We're not going to be gap to gap. We're very simple, and we have to keep our approach simple. We have to keep our attack simple. And it's tough. It's tough in emotional games when guys want more. And it's like if we limit our strikeouts, put pressure on the defense, like it's going to help us a ton.
Let me ask you a strange question. Is there a good thing? Is there a runners left on base are not good no matter what, but is there a good versus bad with that? I mean, if you leave a runner on first, to me that's different than leaving a runner on third.
Sure. Runners in scoring position is a better stat, and I look at that and I don't even like to talk about it because, our batting averages runners in scoring position is atrocious. So it's anemic even. So those, obviously those ones are bigger. Even in that Rustburg game where we won, we had bases loaded with no outs to start the first, and we pop out 2 strikeouts. So it becomes a lot of frustration and pressure, and we're youthful. Like we're still young. We only have 2 seniors that start that will be leaving, and we're still young. And I do think that they're starting to figure some things out and trying to be more purposeful and intent of knowing like, hey, you're going to get beat, but don't get beat every time. Like be able to move past a strikeout and go out there and do your job and then get the next time and want the next time and not sit there and think, oh, I don't want to strike out. Think I'm going to get him next time. I've seen this stuff. I'm going to dump it. I know what I need to do with it. I need to move that runner there and execute something.